Like Yogi Berra said, this is like deja vu all over again. I got elected in 2010, and my first year in the House was, 2001. The first thing that happened in September 11th, as you all remember, was the catastrophe in New York and the airplanes flying into the Twin Towers. Later on, we found out that they came out of Logan Airport. And I happened to be involved with some of the meetings behind closed doors about what the risks were. And lo and behold, we found out that Pilgrim Nuclear Power Plant could have been one of the targets. And if an airplane decided to fly into the top of that thing, it would be a disaster. We would have a meltdown, it would be uncontrollable, and it would contaminate everything for thousands of years to a point where we wouldn't be able to live here. So we were actually talking about having ground-to-air missiles installed around Pilgrim to keep airplanes away from it. So it was a very sobering thing to walk into my first term in office. I can tell you that's why I fought for potassium iodide. That is like the minor thing that we can all take, especially children, to prevent thyroid cancer and other cancers. And it would give us time to hopefully evacuate. It took me 2 years, even after we passed the bill, it took 2 years to get MEMA, the Mass Emergency Management Association, organization, and our Department of Public Health to implement the law. So that's the kind of inertia that we're working against here. But I can tell you right now, if I get in, I'm going to fight for dry cask storage immediately for all of that stuff that's in there. And it's got to be moved to higher ground. I don't think it's tenable to leave it where they have started already. It's got to be up on the high ground. Otherwise, it's going to be exposed to the weather, and a lot of the nor'easters that we get are going to come and really hammer that place. And this stuff is going to be there for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. We're going to need a priesthood to maintain it because everybody will forget what's there. So anyway, I'm sorry to leave you with that kind of disturbing news, but it's my pleasure to sit down right now and introduce the lovely lady from, I'm sorry. Come on up.
Thank you all very much, and just want to say very quickly about the Sierra Club. My name is Emily Norton. I am the Massachusetts director. We have about 60,000 members and supporters across Massachusetts. I'm happy to report that we have endorsed both Julian Cyr and Matt Patrick in their elections, in their campaigns. So I was with you all a year ago to call for the immediate closure of the Pilgrim plant. And if anything, the evidence has become only clearer that this plant needs to be shuttered immediately. We lurched from one emergency shutdown to another, and Entergy has shown a complete inability to be able to maintain their plant. The Massachusetts Emergency Management Plan, many of you know this, in case of a nuclear disaster, is not to evacuate Cape residents, but rather to relocate them after exposure to radioactive material. The Massachusetts Emergency Management Director, Kurt Schwartz, has said that swaths of Boston could also be relocated. It's just a matter of which way the wind blows. In this way, an accident at Pilgrim is an unacceptable risk for our entire region. What will happen to our economy when Harvard and MIT, the whole innovation district, have to be relocated? Or the entire Cape loses their land and the tourist economy? So we must replace Pilgrim, but we must not replace it with more fossil fuels, such as natural gas pipelines. Just as nuclear energy puts people's lives and health at risk, so do fossil fuels in the form of a warming planet, more extreme storms, heat waves, disease, and more. So we must replace Pilgrim with clean, renewable energy. The costs of renewable energy are coming down, of energy efficiency, of energy storage, and those sources all provide substantial health benefits above and beyond the safety and climate benefits. Investing in clean energy also keeps jobs in the Commonwealth. It keeps energy dollars in the Commonwealth. We don't make fossil fuels here. We send almost $20 billion a year to other states and countries. How does that make sense? We can look to our friends in California for a model of how to move beyond nuclear. There, when the Diablo Canyon plant is closed, a deal has been reached with the state, the electric utility, unions, environmentalists, to replace nuclear energy almost entirely with energy efficiency, wind, and solar. We should set a similar vision. We're Massachusetts. We can do this if the leaders would lead. Thank you.